Today marks 1661st day of day lessons, day reflections. As you can see, I'm outside today in a park. There is a sky train going by, so it might be there will be quite some noises, but I hope it will be okay. And today I want to speak about. I'm in the park, so today I want to speak about rest. Rest, such a beautiful word, rest. And I think that so many people, including myself, sometimes we get that rest wrong. And if we get that rest wrong, we do not have energy to pursue big things in life. Because rest is equal energy. And I always say that energy is the most important thing in life because without energy, you're not able to pursue. Doesn't matter how much money you have, doesn't matter how much time you have. If you do not have energy, nothing matters. So today we'll share seven truths, seven types of rest because you can understand that if you work physically all day long, now you need to have physical rest. If you cognitively sitting in a table and solving problems, this is different kind of exhaustion, and you need to rest differently. And that's why when you're able to really combine different exercises and different rest strategies is extremely important. That's why I always, when I used to do wrestling, sambo, judo, jiu-jitsu, and people who achieve such tremendous success in those sports was tremendously successful in life as well because they learn how to really rest and recharge and really do the right thing with their body, with their mind to really achieve great things. So today, as I said, we will focus on seven different types of rest that we need to know just to make sure that we're actually resting in the right way. So number one, and this is the easiest one, is physical rest. You worked, you exercised, you moved all day long. Now you need to really do the rest things. And of course, number one thing is sleep, naps, being able to really rest your body in a way that sometimes even stretching, massage, like all the things that really recovers your body. Body is extremely important. Without body, and maybe it's this is the first, but because if your body is not functioning, all other things will not function in the highest way possible. So that means that the physical rest is non-negotiable no matter what's going on in our life. And being able to really, even those 5, 10, 15 minutes naps is golden. I always found that when I used to be in the hustle grind season, when I used to work immense hours, sometimes even 16, 20 hours a day. So I used to do those 5, 10 minutes power naps, and they used to give so much energy. And I think sometimes knowing that those are essential are extremely important. Number two, rest. I already mentioned that is mental rest. Because it's interesting because it might be that on a daily basis we working all day long with analysis, with decisions, with information that we need to gather to understand. And interesting, especially when you really move in life a lot of times when you move between companies, when you move um because I used to be auditor and every single week I used to have a different client to understand. And will be a new load. And especially when you if you're moving from a one company to another company. So that means that when you move, there will be so much information, so much load. That means we understand that physical activities might be different in different season of your life. Mental loads might be and will be different in different life stages. And that means that it might be that at 1 week, mental load is maximum, and we need to really be able to rest on that mental load. Understand that okay, there's too many decisions, too many information, too many analysis points in our lives. So let's reduce all the things that let's remove all the things that's non urgent, not necessary. So just to make sure that we remove some information, some decision fatigue. Number three is sensory rest. It might be that where you are is just too many things going on. There's sounds, there is feelings, there is eyesight. So I don't know. Maybe you've been in Las Vegas and you know how the everything moves. The you just need to move besides the people, and there's so many things going on that could be overload as well. And being able, it's like I need some rest from that sensory, and being able to be in a quiet room or maybe in a park and really remove all the sensory things extremely important. And I think that's sensory is at the same time is helping to rest in a lot of different senses. For me, when I think about my emotions, when I think about my mental state, and I really love to take my coffee in my hand, like warm coffee, smell it, taste it, hold it, and that's really that's something that recharges me and allows me to really go back into my default emotion. That's a beautiful thing. Number four is creative rest. It might be that we are working something that we need a lot of creativity, and we create and create and create and produce and produce and perform and perform, and at some point start to feel that maybe I don't have as much creativity as I thought. I don't have as much inspiration as I used to have. And again, this is sometimes we need to really look into, okay, what do I need to do? Sometimes remove all the creativity, remove all the production, really look into maybe I'm able to really give some input or maybe stillness just to make sure that I'm able to rest properly. It's extremely important. So that means that I found myself as well that creativity, like willpower, like all the things, are the battery. And the more you use without recharging, it's at some point you just don't have it that in you. And we need to really give ourselves time and rest to really get back creativity. Number five is emotional rest. And this is it's very, very easy to understand that we have emotions. We're going through emotional things, a lot emotional seasons. And because we're going through those seasons, we potentially be emotionally exhausted. And it's interesting because through my life in this year specifically, I really learned to be not emotional, but emotion friendly. And what I mean by that is that I'm able to really feel the emotion and release the emotion. Understand emotion, release, accept emotion, and release emotion. Before that, I used to really carry that emotion, suppress that emotion. And and it's so hard on you when you really suppress emotion and carry it with you. All the goal. You have those suppressed emotions. And I think that's you can get very tired after a while doing that. And you just because at that moment you just don't know who you truly are and what your emotions are and you're not able to express it and you are like more a numb person. And that's kind of leadership I used to have. I learned that from my dad that no matter what you feel, things must be done. I really love that question. My dad used to ask, "Is that must be done?" And if this is what must be done, you take emotions out and do what's necessary. And that's what I learned to numb my emotions, not think about emotions and do what's necessary. But at the same time, I learned that if you actually think of that emotion and you release that emotion, and now you're able to do without emotion whatsoever, without carrying that emotion, so it's even much more powerful as well. And this is again, emotional rest sometimes is extremely important. Number six is social rest. And this is very easy to understand. So if we spend all day long with people, with hundreds of people, thousands of people, including introverts, I am ambivert. I love connecting one-on-one connections to one-on-three connections to really go into deep topics. But if I'm going to IKEA, big stores, it just drains my energy like crazy. I just don't like being around massive amounts of people, and that's a social um, and after that I need to rest socially. That means what it means that I need to remove myself out of social environments, put myself in the park like this, reconnect myself and be in still moments and really give myself the power of solitude. And now of course some people spend all day long by themselves in solitude, so social rest for them would be going and meeting people and spending time with people. And last one, number seven, is spiritual rest. And this is, I think, that is extremely important because spiritual rest is all about meaning, purpose, vision for life. And that's extremely important. Those relationships built through maybe actions of prayer, meditation. Every single person might have different ways to really do because spirituality is such a broad name. And when I say spirituality, most people think and put in front of them in their eyes their way of thinking about spirituality. And that's totally fine. The most important part is thinking that okay, I need to have some kind of rest spiritually because sometimes when we pursue big things in life and we execute, sometimes we get lost in actions and in thoughts and in because we a lot of times pursuing that vision mission and the things that they thought it'll be easy or hard, it's actually opposite. And sometimes we don't reflect how that adjusted our ways and we need to do that so we can really readjust things are with our meaning, our daily tasks, and all beyond the all daily tasks. Because For me, specifically, spirituality is number one. Faith is my number one because I found that this is the most important anchor. And I probably always speak how important it is to have anchor because when I look into people who really succeeded, the people that I really admire and aspire to be, every single person is, right, the moment that the ones that I follow, is anchored by their faith. Anchored by their faith. And it doesn't matter what's going on in their life. I know that they will persevere because they have such a strong anchor. And I'm not an evangelist. I don't preach, but I always say that you need to find your own anchor. And if your anchor is not strong at that moment, a big pressure will come and will come. And will come big pressure. A big storm will come. And that you will be blown away. And that's why I said that you need to prepare your anchor before the storm comes. And for me, in my perspective, faith is one of the best anchors that you could potentially have. And that's again, when you really do spiritual rest in that way and really do some reps, do, for example, reading Bible or meditations, that's one of the things that really allows to spiritually rest. And then that's extremely important. So I hope you reflect as well because rest is a massive, massive topic. The more I think about it, the more I realize that there are so many things to really consider. So I hope you will have time to rest. And I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.